Good morning, everybody. This is Eureka John with the Eureka Street Crypto Hub, broadcasting live from Leander, Texas. It is July 27th, 2021. It is 5:43 in the morning, and that's how I roll. I'm up every single day doing this, talking about crypto, video blogging, all my crypto education and development, and it is self-education. So I didn't go to some fancy university to learn everything I'm learning in crypto. Although I did go to a fancy university for a little while, but I'm still a buttload of dollars in debt, even, almost 20 years after graduating. So, that's amazing. Woo! But I'm working on chiseling that away. A lot of it is interest by now. But anyway, I don't even want to talk about that. So good morning, Randy. Thanks again for jumping on. I appreciate you having breakfast with me every morning. It's nice to wake up and see other people out there. Today's also my brother's birthday, so happy birthday to Casey. And let's see, what else we got going on today? I don't know, man. Like I said, I had a really busy day today, and I listened to a bunch of I listened to podcasts on my commute to and from work. I heard some really good podcasts, but I didn't find anything that I really wanted to pin down and hone down and talk about. The Brave New Coin had a great podcast about Tendermint. One of the people from the team on that. Let me see if I can find that podcast and show you guys. Brave New Coin, Tindrmint, Tendermint. Let's see here. This is and it was on Spotify, and it's one of the latest episodes here. I don't normally listen to Brave New Coin, but I was kind of really wanting to spice it up and listen to something different. I listened to another Anthony Sassano episode. The thing about it is I will talk about a lot of these podcasts, and today I'm going to be listening to the Decrypt podcast about Chris Blec. And if you don't know him, he's kind of a DeFi watchdog pundit guy. And so a lot of these podcasts get pretty technical and hardcore and are harder for beginners to understand. So I guess that's kind of what I'm trying to do, is to listen to these and then I know people are like, well, you're just getting your material straight from the podcast. And sometimes I do, but this is my attempt at helping you maybe understand what the podcast is trying to say, because I spent an entire year listening to these podcasts being like, what in the hell did I just listen to? All right, so this is my attempt at kind of helping to mediate that. So I can't find that dang podcast. All right, well, I will find it and put a link to it for tomorrow's show. I would like to talk about Tendermint, and it is the core consensus code for the Cosmos blockchain and the whole Cosmos ecosystem. And I think it's really fascinating, that entire ecosystem. So I do want to talk about it, but I don't think that right now is the right time to talk about it in detail, because there's so much to talk about within that. But it was a really good interview with one of the main, developers over there at Tendermint. So anyway, there's that. Let's take a look over here at CoinGecko and see what's going on. It's been an interesting thing. It's still green and it's still looking good in my eyes. I have seen some people on Twitter being like, "Hey, I told you it was just all a scam. It's a fake bull run and all that stuff." And then other people are like, "We're out of the bear trap. Life is good." But anyway, whatever. I don't try to speculate on what's happening on a day-to-day basis or even a week-to-week basis in the market, for that matter, because it's just not really why I'm into it. Yeah, bravenewcoin.com. Okay, so let me see here. Thank you, Randy. I'm sometimes not the best person thinking on my toes, but let's see here. bravenewcoin.com. And this is the website. And I sometimes, listen to this podcast, and let's see if I can find this one here. A bunch of articles. Latest podcast, Tendermint Core. Here we go. and Tess Reinerson. Yeah, so she did a really good interview, and yeah, so it's a really fascinating interview, and she gets kind of technical and nerdy, but overall it's a pretty easy listen. So I would recommend listening to this one right here. I'll go ahead and I'll talk about Tendermint a little more tomorrow, so I'll link that in tomorrow's show. Okay, yeah, that's what I'll do. So okay, so let me pull out the chat box so I can stay on top of that. And okay, so once again, all the POAPs have been going off, and I made a really ugly POAP today. So if you want the ugly POAP, then that means you're committed. And then I think this weekend I might actually, I don't know, I might break my streak. I mean, in the past when I went on, I'm going on a little family vacation. And in the past when I went to Great Wolf Lodge with the family, I was up at like 6:30 in the morning because that's just what time I get up. And I went out into the lobby of the area, and there was nobody around except for the people vacuuming. And you know, I did this show from my laptop, and that was kind of cool, you know. And then I would go get everybody breakfast, and then come back up to the room and wake everybody up. So I don't know. I may or may not do the show and break my streak this weekend, but we'll see. Yeah, it's been a little while. It's been since February 6th since I've been broadcasting every single morning nonstop, and I hate to break that streak. But anyway, so Bitcoin $37,361.34, Ethereum $2,239.63, Binance Coin $307.45, Cardano $1.26. Let's see what else. XRP 63 cents, the Doge 20 cents, Polkadot 13.85, Binance, it's a stable coin. Uniswap 18.58. And I'm going to talk a little bit about Uniswap here today. Bitcoin Cash 481.74, Litecoin 130.04, Chainlink 18.55, Solana 28.46, and then Matic at 99 cents, just under $1, 99.99728. Wow. You could only be slightly closer to $1. Ethereum Classic 48.45, Stellar 26 cents, Theta Network 560. ICP Clown Coin 39.47, and let's see here. I'm wondering where Synthetics is. Where are you, Synthetics? I'm curious. $9.14. So Synthetics is not doing too great right now, and I'm wondering if that has to do with the recent Uniswap delisting of a lot of tokenized stocks and derivatives on there. That's why I was kind of interested in Uniswap, because I hear Chris Blec criticizing Uniswap and Polygon, and I don't think Chris Blec is trying to be mean. I understand where he's coming from, and I respect a lot of what he's trying to do. He's a radio guy, and he's also, to me, a journalist, and he's trying to find the holes in what is considered a lot of times the PC or correct or popular culture thing to do. I talked about Chris Blec a few times in the past, and I've tagged him in a couple of my broadcasts. No response, but whatever, it's fine. And the guy's a busy guy, and I learned how to do Aave. And that was the first DeFi protocol Aave and Synthetics were. And I learned Aave and Synthetics from Chris Blec from his YouTube videos in early 2020. And so that's what really turned me onto DeFi. He was the first person to be able to explain DeFi in a way that a guy like me could understand. And he went through and did the whole tutorial and stuff, and showed his audience how to use Synthetics and Aave step by step in the videos. And I was like, so as a result, Aave and Synthetics were the first two DeFi protocols I learned how to use. And it's weird because Synthetics is like dealing with derivatives and stuff like that. To somebody with absolutely no financial background, derivatives are just like, it's completely it's abstract. It's not something you can really put your hands on, because derivatives themselves are pegged to other assets. And so you're sitting there trading back and forth these derivatives that are not pegged on something that is based on something tangible that is real. It's pegged on a synthetic version of some kind of asset, like a stock or gold or whatever, or a crypto. And so it's weird, but anyway, he was the first person that allowed me to watch that, that allowed me to understand that. So anyway, yeah, he's a provocateur in a way, and he asks difficult questions, and he's kind of a lot of people have called him. Let's see, there's a funny meme that came out with him on the front, the DeFi Cop right here. Chris Blec is DeFi Cop, and so. Yeah, he's been a thorn in the side of a lot of the DeFi people. The Defiant has just recently done a podcast with him, and let's see here, Defiant, and I'm going to listen to this one on the way down to work today. So this should be good. Let's see here, the Defiant, yes. And he says, I'm not an enemy of DeFi. He just, I have a subscription. Okay, so here we go. I'm not an enemy to DeFi. I want people to know about anything that goes against DeFi as a tool for financial liberty. So to him, being in DeFi is all about liberty. It's about going against the banks. It's about subverting the banking system. It's about getting rid of plutocracies. And he says tokenized governments could make plutocracies. He criticized Uniswap for pulling out funds for DeFi education, and then for also doing some lobbying as well. So there's a whole lot of stuff. He's criticized Polygon Matic for only 2 people holding the admin keys, which could lead to collusion that a lot of people could, and there's billions of dollars running through there, and they could easily run off with all that money if they just colluded. And let's see here, he criticized another platform. Where is it? We got too many tabs open. Where are you? Oh, I don't know. Okay, here he is. Yeah. And then down here, we'll see here. Okay, here's where he's talking about Polygon Matic. Projects often use admin keys while the protocol is still being built in order to quickly fix security issues or stop exploit, with the goal of getting rid of it once the project is stable and ready for full decentralization. In order to mitigate the risks, many projects have adopted multi-sig admin key, which requires a certain number of people to independently approve its use for a particular action. Yeah, he was hammering away at Polygon Matic, and he said there's billions of dollars flying around on this blockchain that was relying on 3 developers not to lose their Ledger Nano S devices. When you think about it that way, it's kind of crazy. Since then, Polygon Matic have changed their multi-sig to a 5 of 8 multi-sig to have access. And also the project is based in India, which has been toying with a crypto ban. So all this stuff, when you have this much money now flowing into DeFi, you need people like Chris Blec as well to kind of go against the narrative. And also for Blec, he's talking about kids running a lot of these DeFi operations. And he's 45, I'm 45. I understand it, Gen Xers, and you're seeing all these millennials and Gen Zers, creating these DeFi tools. With no financial education. And I understand I have no financial education, but I'm not going to try to create a DeFi application that runs, billions of dollars across them with trying to just like read a book about finance and create code for it. So for Blec, the only worse thing than having an admin key in the hands of developers is having an admin key in the hands of teenagers. Blec famously called out Rary Capital's team of teenage devs, including a 15-year-old named Jet, in March. The eldest was just 20. While his criticism was controversial at the time, the protocol itself was exploited a month or so later for $11 million. I've never even seen anything. I've never seen $1 million. So and they said I did feel a little bad when they got hacked after I was criticizing them. He said I sent that kid a message right away because I just felt bad for him. I didn't want him to take it to heart, even though it was a loss and they did screw up. Blec says that he's sensitive to any situation where I feel like somebody could become depressed. And he said, I've had family members that have committed suicide and stuff, and it affected me pretty deep. And I've always been sensitive to that kind of stuff as far as, depression and things. Yeah, and I'm sensitive about that stuff too. In my high school, between the years of 89 and 96, I know that's longer than my 4 years of high school, but during those times, I think there was like 14 kids that committed suicide, and this was right in the height of the grunge era and stuff like that. And this is just in my high school, so it is a problem. So you have to be careful whenever you're slamming down people. And that's the thing too. Chris Blec kind of goes against the whole narrative of the, I guess, the safe space, leftist narrative that's going around right now, the cancel culture. And people have tried to cancel him in DeFi and censor him in DeFi, and it's not really been successful. And that is one of the beautiful things about crypto and DeFi, is that you can't censor it. And so that's another reason why I subscribe to the whole DeFi and crypto model, is because it is more than just about trading crypto back and forth. It is uncensorable, and he's also been outspoken against masks, against the jab and stuff like that, and not saying that if people want to do that, that's fine, but don't force other people to do it, and don't gaslight them into saying that you're going to kill grandma or the rest of society because you don't want to participate in this current narrative, because I believe it's absolute BS, and you are not going to. It is not dangerous, okay? If you look at the actual statistics aside what's being shoveled down to you in mainstream media. And yes, that is my opinion, and I hold to that. You can disagree with me if you want, but yeah, anyway, so Uniswap DeFi fund defends massive Uni token sale. So let's see here. Here's another thing. Uniswap justified its 500,000 Uni token sale in a blog post on July 15th, stating that wanted to address the questions it raised directly. As being reported in BN Crypto, the world's leading DEX converted half the funds in Uni to 10.2 million in USDC for its DeFi education fund in a surprise sale on Tuesday. The move sparked some backlash from the DeFi community, which brought up issues of centralization and called for further transparency regarding the Harvard Law Blockchain and FinTech Initiative backed fund. Industry researcher Igor Igambardiev further fueled the fire by revealing that Uniswap insiders may have dumped tokens just prior to the $10 million token sale. So they're doing a major DeFi education. They were lobbying for, I believe it was, let me see, where's that article? I don't know, I'll find it in a second, but they were lobbying for stuff. And then now Uniswap is under fire by the SEC for these Uniswap tokenized stocks that it has on there, and the synthetic stocks. So it brings me full circle around back to synthetics. It turns out Uniswap, the decentralized exchange site, isn't as decentralized as it made itself out to be. In anticipation of regulatory scrutiny, Uniswap has delisted several tokens that could constitute securities, including Tether Gold and tokenized stocks from crypto derivatives platforms like Synthetics, while it monitors the evolving regulatory landscape. So Synthetics, exactly what I was talking about a second ago. I wanted to see where the price was. A lot of these synthetic tokens are being taken off of Uniswap because they're tokenized securities that are pegged to the actual security. And I talked about 2 episodes back the whole difference between securities and commodities. And securities are something that have you invest in them for the equity, for the expectation of profit. A lot of times whenever a coin or a token has an initial coin offering or a token generation event where you have to put in money to guarantee your spot in there in order with the expectation to make money, that can easily be flagged as a security, and then that can come under fire with the SEC. Then it could shut down the operation, and it could you could lose a lot of money that way. So you have to be careful. And so anticipation of regulatory scrutiny, Uniswap has delisted several tokens that could constitute security. So I thought Uniswap was decentralized. How can it delist several tokens that if it's just code in a protocol, right? So as of today, we have started restricting access to a small number of tokens at app.uniswap.org. These changes pertain to the interface at app.uniswap.org. The protocol remains entirely autonomous, immutable, and permissionless. So Uniswap Labs is the company that runs the website. And then Uniswap, the protocol, is separate. It's the code. Anybody can copy and paste that. To clarify, right here, Uniswap protocol remains unaffected, and the backend still supports the decentralized trades of the offensive tokens. It is simply Uniswap, the website, front-end interface for Uniswap that's operated by Brooklyn-based Uniswap Labs that has banned the tokens. That is because the Brooklynites who run the website are beholden to U.S. securities laws, which prevent unauthorized companies like Uniswap Labs from selling certain investments. And they're right there in New York City, right close to the finance mecca. So conversely, Uniswap, the protocol, doesn't operate out of Brooklyn. It's a piece of code that is maintained by a community of several hundred developers and investors, including, yes, Americans, and yes, the people who created Uniswap Labs, albeit these days at a distance. I'm curious as to what kind of distance that is. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, can't realistically sue all those people, and it can't sue a bit of computer code. So the protocol is fine. And since the protocol runs on the decentralized Ethereum blockchain and is subject to the laws of Control-C, Control-V, the SEC can't shut it down either. I don't know what really Control-C, Control-V is. I know in computers, that's copy and paste. So copy and paste laws. I went and I tried to figure it out. And where is it? Control-C, Control-V. Here's an article in 2019 in January on some random website. I don't know what it is. But it says, following the EU Copyright Directive Amendment, Articles 11 to 13, enacted on September 12, 2018, we need to ask for and obtain the author or copyright holder's permission to use any content on the internet and spell out accreditation when go-ahead is granted, the exception being mere material that is not copyrighted. So as inconvenient as this may be, the directive is long overdue. Isn't plagiarism a crime, which is why academic and artistic honesty must be taken seriously. So I don't know. So I imagine it has some kind of law to do with copyright laws. I don't really understand it. So when I was reading this, I'm not really sure what they're trying to say. And since the protocol runs on the decentralized Ethereum blockchain and is subject to the laws of Control-C, Control-V, the SEC can't shut it down either. So the SEC is not able to mess with something that is subject to copyright laws. That I need some help with that. So if anybody knows anything about that, shout it out in the comments and explain to me what that means. Over here, let's see here, Control-C. So I took a look at some of these securities. Where is it? So Uniswap tokens, defunds. So let's see where I am now. Okay, I'm on Decrypt. And okay, here we are. Here's the GitHub. You can go to it. It's linked. It'll be linked in the below. So gold tether right here. Grumpy cat. Synthetic US dollar. Let's see what else we have. Some synthetic YFI protocol. There's a bunch of synthetics. OETH P, OCurve P, OComp P, wrapped Ethereum P. So a lot of these protocols that give you a synthetic version or some kind of representative token for having staked up on their platforms or whatever. Here's Aave. A lot of these protocols that give you these tokens in exchange for staking on them, and then the only way you could liquidate those tokens a lot of times is via Uniswap. This might create an issue for some of these types of tokens. So here's IREN, ITRX. So the I is inverse. If you don't want that, and that means you're kind of betting on a put option. You're betting that something will go down when it's I. Synthetic Binance coin, synthetic Bitcoin right here. So all these synth coins are being taken off of Uniswap, and that will kind of, in a way, reduce liquidity, it seems to me, unless I'm wrong, on a lot of these protocols where you receive these synth tokens in exchange for some actual tokens or for something being locked up too. Synth Japanese yen, synth alphabet Google, synth South Korean won, synth Chainlink, Synth Litecoin, Synth Microsoft. Look at this. Synth Perpetual Oil Futures. Synth Thorchain. Wow, huh? Okay, Synth Silver Ounce, Synth Gold Ounce. What's up, Metanoia? How you doing? Synth Ripple. Synth Yearn Finance. Okay, so yeah, man, look at all this. This is, yeah. It's a lot of stuff being taken off of Uniswap. So, naturally, yes, I can understand why the decentralization of Uniswap is being called into question. Because Uniswap's supposed to be a piece of code that everybody has access to, right? I mean, even here, PancakeSwap. Look at this. The PancakeSwap is run by Binance, and let's see here. It's still got Uniswap written here in the code functions. It says @Uniswap. They didn't even change the hyperlink name. They didn't even bother removing Uniswap from there. So there's a lot of copying and pasting. So it does show it is open source. So I don't know, man. What's your verdict? Do you think that Uniswap should come under fire for being decentralized, centrally decentralized? Do you think the decentralization is all a ruse? I don't know. So Metanoia is saying, I have no idea what you're talking about since I came mid-talk. It's fine. I'm just talking about Uniswap, the decentralized crypto trading platform, I guess. Anyway, so now, the third. Okay, so let's see here. So there are 3 bits of recent news that may have hastened Uniswap Labs delist into tokenized derivatives. The first is the international crackdown on Binance, the tearaway exchange that annoyed global regulators with its tokenized stock. Binance suddenly suspended trading of its tokenized stock last week after financial watchdogs from the UK, Hong Kong, Germany, and Italy said they could constitute securities. The second is this week's action against BlockFi, a New Jersey-based crypto lending platform that pays interest for deposits of Bitcoin, USDC, and other cryptocurrencies. So they called out the company for selling securities. And then Uniswap, BlockFi doesn't create these cryptocurrencies, and like many, Bitcoin and Ethereum probably aren't securities. But like BlockFi, Uniswap lets its customers profit by delegating the management of the investments of these tokens, analogous to how securities contracts works. So, and the third is when the chairman of the SEC, Gary Gensler, hinted at more lawsuits against stock token issuers earlier this week. So, a lot of stuff is under attack. Tether is also supposedly coming to court by the SEC based on criminal charges as well. So, I don't know. There's a lot of attacks going on from all directions against crypto. But at the same time, you see people like over here. Let me go down to this article. Goldman Sachs applies for blockchain and DeFi ETF right here. So you have that going on too at the same time. So it's a really confusing place for a lot of people to jump in to the crypto space because you're like, this is great. Oh, this is bad. Oh, this is good. This is bad. Just days after we learned that Goldman is quietly clearing and settling cryptocurrency exchange products for some hedge funds clients in Europe on Monday, the bank, which has been increasingly ramping up its exposure to cryptocurrencies in recent months, filed an application with the SEC for a crypto ETF. And not just any ETF, but one that would offer exposure to public companies in decentralized finance and blockchain around the globe. Now, there are a lot of people that have been applying for crypto and Bitcoin ETFs and stuff like that. Nobody's been approved by the SEC so far. I believe Gemini still has one out, and this is their second time to apply for an ETF. Now we have Goldman Sachs applying for an ETF. So it'll be interesting to see if they get approved and how fast they get approved, as opposed to all these other companies that have been trying to get some kind of Bitcoin or crypto ETF for the longest time approved by the SEC. Goldman Sachs is a huge player. A lot of these other places, relatively speaking, are not really as influential or big of a player. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. And now that Goldman Sachs is wanting this DeFi ETF, but at the same time, the SEC is over here cracking down on ETF on DeFi protocols. it is definitely a confusing space. And for those of you who don't know what an ETF is, it's an exchange traded fund. It's a bundle of certain assets. Say you want to do a metals ETF, then you would get a bundle of stocks, bonds, things like that, all centered around the precious metals industries. So that's kind of what an ETF is. And so you are moving up with the average of that market. And say you want a tech ETF, the FANG stocks, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google. You would buy into that ETF that had a bundle of all those stocks, and as all those stocks rose up, so would yours. So it's a safer way to invest. So it's an institutional way to invest as well. So yes, Goldman very unironically wants to offer clients exposure to the same DeFi technology whose only purpose is to make banks such as Goldman Sachs obsolete by decentralizing all financial transformation functions and services. So yeah, apparently Uniswap was trying to lobby for DeFi regulation and stuff like that. And I can kind of understand why Uniswap would want to lobby and to work with some regulators. From that point of view, they say, well, if we work with them, then we'll probably get some favorable laws to help regulate the DeFi industry. But Chris Blec is all about like, no, we don't want these people to regulate the DeFi industry because these are the people. These people are the reason DeFi was created, to get around these banking institutions. So yeah, it's just so much stuff going on in the space that's absolutely contradictory and confusing right now. And so over here, I'll list this article as well. Uniswap delists hundreds of tokens from interface. I don't know. I don't have time. I'm out of time. And I wanted to talk about this too, about Texas counties welcome Bitcoin miners, but I'll save that for another episode too. I went over 32 minutes. I didn't even know what the hell I was going to talk about today. And here I go again. All right, I'll be back tomorrow. I'm here every day. And so if you just jumped on, Metanoia, welcome. Hey, Blamby. And I'm, hi, bye. I'll high five you. I got to go. I got to get my butt to work and do my daily deal. It's been kind of an interesting all over the place episode, but I'll link the articles. And it's kind of an episode where I was just really just trying to figure out what I was. Nothing has really been cohesive this episode to me because I'm still trying to figure all this stuff out myself. But that's why I do this show, is to figure out this stuff and to do it live, and recorded, and do it live for the public to see that people are. We're all figuring this stuff out. We're all in the same boat, and everybody's just as confused. And anybody that says that they are an authority on this is blowing smoke up your butt. So, all right, I will talk to you guys tomorrow, and we'll see what tomorrow holds. Yeah, all right. I think I'm going to talk about Tendermint, the Cosmos ecosystem. All right, bye.